Island, Stacey Plaskett, a few days ago, she was just named the ranking member on the Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the federal government. She's also a member of the House Intelligence Committee and the Agriculture Committee. 2 years ago, she served as an impeachment manager during the second impeachment of Donald Trump. Representative Plaskett, good morning to you. Thank you for being with us again.
Thanks so much for having me. Good morning to you.
You just heard what Professor Ben-Ghiat had to say about this committee. Give me a sense of your assessment of what your role and the role of Democrats on this slightly weird committee should be.
Well, first, I have to say that I'm just so grateful to Leader Hakeem Jeffries for tapping me to be the lead for the Democrats on the committee. And I think that you see from the composition of the Democrats that we really represent, once again, the mosaic and that makes up the American people. We have older members, younger members, new members, senior members who have been around a while and from all over the country with deep knowledge and experience in investigations, oversight, and the law. And Dems have said at the beginning of this Congress that we're willing to work in a bipartisan manner because there are areas, of course, Velshi, that you know, Ali, that need to be investigated, whether that's the IRS disproportionately auditing African Americans, or it is things like Bill Barr utilizing his perch as Attorney General to support Donald Trump. And so we're willing to do that. But the Republicans, and particularly Jim Jordan, have shown over and over again that they're not interested in that. What they're interested in doing is chasing down rainbow conspiracies and far right, fear mongering to their base.
So tell me then, as the ranking member, as a member of the minority party, with the limitations that all involves, what do you do to say, because, again, I think 100% of people would say oversight is good and weaponization of government is bad.
Right.
And so how do you make this committee not a waste of time? Or how do you not spend your days on this committee just swatting away or trying to swat away nonsense, but actually say, is there any possibility of agreeing on terms of stuff that the American public would agree needs to be investigated?
Well, I've reached out to Jim Jordan in the last few days. I was just announced as the ranking member to see if he's interested in sitting down on a regular basis to see if there are areas and hearings that we can do that we would both agree on. In the meantime, we're going to be the truth squad and be willing to say when it is nonsense. The subpoenas that he's recently issued to the Justice Department, to the FBI regarding this school board nonsense, it was unnecessary because the Department of Justice as well as the FBI were very forthcoming about the information that they had. We're working with Jim Jordan and with other individuals to get that information. So we're going to be the truth squad to say when we're dealing with nonsense, to make sure that evidence and facts are out for the American people, while at the same time, in our own way, trying to bring light on those areas that need to, in fact, be investigated. I'm grateful that my first term in Congress and for 3 terms, I sat on oversight under Elijah Cummings, who was always willing to work across the aisle to find common ground, but who also stood for truth. And I'm going to use him as a model to ensure that the American people hear the facts and evidence, that we deal in truth, and that we push back on things that would divide Americans and rally up the worst intentions within all of us, while at the same time trying to get out some real oversight investigation.
Well, you cited your work with Chairman Cummings as an example, and there are many, and there are Democrats and Republicans who both do this. When there's a chair and a ranking member, they work in some degree of association. They will send letters jointly. Where are you in that sort of relationship with Jim Jordan? In fact, this thing you made mention of, where Jim Jordan has subpoenaed Attorney General Merrick Garland, the FBI Director Chris Wray, and the Education Secretary Miguel Cardona. Were you consulted about that?
No, I was not. And that's one of the things that in the letter that I sent him, I advise him. I'm like, hey, I'm here. I've been appointed. I know it's been very recent. And going forward, let's follow the rules. Let's follow what has been the practice of the House. I need notice of what you're going to do. I'm willing to meet. Interestingly, we're on the same hallway, our offices in the House. So there's no reason that you can't hop on by and see me. and let's work in the best way that we can. We'll see if that comes out. You know, I'm not an optimist or pessimist. I'm a realist, and I've made provisions if that's not going to be the case.
Representative Plaskett, thanks for taking time, as you always do, to join us on our show. Democratic Representative Stacey Plaskett of the United States.